Hello, this is Leow. I'm here with Kabo, and we are working on concepting a project, a large architectural project in Minecraft. Um, but first we
Mine
want.
Minecraft, not Minecraft.
I said Minecraft.
Are you sure?
I think so.
Well, it's recorded, so
Well, no. Um, anyway, yes, I know it's Minecraft. Come on. Anyway, um, and so we're looking at concepting this, and we are going to start on paper just to get a shape, rough design concept before we actually take it into the more detailed um, architecture of it. And that way we're not just sort of building from nothing and throwing things together and ending up with some sort of strange looking conglomeration of things. But yeah, so we're thinking something along the lines of a castle or cathedral type thing. Could be a little bit different from typical, but that sort of is a general idea. So I'm going to start probably by um, working on just some general shapes. Um, I think that we also want to take into account what sort of terrain we want to building this on. Obviously, we have a lot of options. Um, we have something snowy or icy to something deserty, grasslandy, plainsy, foresty. I don't know. Would we want to try something like that in a forest? I don't think so.
well, we could. But I think it would be probably easier to build it in a plains and then build a forest around it if we wanted it in a forest.
Yeah, I think that would probably be a good idea as well, as far as that's
Because
concerned.
like during the actual construction, we'd tear down most of the trees probably.
Yeah, something terraform in a way, similarly to what you're doing on your
Yeah.
project.
Yeah. Like in my LP, I just cleared out all of the trees.
Yeah, you've just recently started shaving, as you call it, the
Shaving
layers.
shaving off the topsoil.
Yeah. So anyway, here can be our base, I guess, or something. I don't know. I don't know. What kind of land do you think? Um,
Um I don't really have any preference. I'm up for building anything.
okay. Well, let's just start with shapes, and we can go from there. See what it looks. What we think it looks good on. So, um, well, we can start with something pretty basic. I don't know like that. All right. So the outer area, I was thinking, my concept anyway, was that it would be something sort of really cool and castle-y or cathedral-y, which frequently, I mean, and then within that we'd have sort of some fun explorable dungeons or catacombs or rooms and things. But I think for the exterior to start, I think it could be kind of neat to do something castle or cathedral-y, which probably we'll want to look at having some sort of towers and spires as large architectural points. So this might look really dumb to start, but I'm just putting down some ideas.
Do we want to make this like a so I could make this into an actual map, like a capture the wool map.
Oh,
So
I like.
so you go around and you find wool objectives, and there's a monument at the end or in a certain room where you put all of your trophy wool, showing that you've completed the entire map.
Oh, cool. Yeah,
So if we're going to do this like a dungeon, I could eventually build it like that.
yeah, that could be really neat.
All right. In that case, keep in mind that we're probably going to want most of the walls to be at least 3 layers thick.
Okay.
Uh, and possibly more, of course, but would need to be at least 3 layers thick, so we can put bedrock in the middle, and then on the outside they can be whatever material, just so that if in case we have people trying to dig through the wall to get to the objectives.
Right. We don't want to. Yeah, it's sort of deter cheating and stuff. Yeah, that could be fun. Unfortunately, my chair is sort of restricting my hand motions. I need to adjust that a little bit. Adjust the way my tablet is set up. There we go. That's better. So for anyone for curiosity's sake, I suppose. I'm just using a basic Wacom bamboo tablet, which I've had for a little while. Nothing special.
I was surprised at how much the bamboo costing is what their cost is.
Well, it's cheaper now than when I bought it. When I bought it, it was about $200. Now it's about $100, I think, for a bamboo tablet. But they just came out with a new tablet the last couple months. It's a new version of the Cintiq, which is the monitor, the direct draw on the monitor, on the display, it's really cool. It's they call it the Cintiq 24 HD. It's a 24-inch display with a 1920 by 1200 16 by 10 aspect ratio, 1920 by 10 1200 resolution, and so that's what I'm using right now on my monitor. And so it's basically my monitor screen size as a tablet that you can draw on. They also have another version of it, which they came out a little bit later, called the same one but with touch. So it's 24 HD, Cintiq 24 HD touch, and so it's the same thing basically, made with a little bit of advancement, but it also has multi-touch functionality.
Oh, that's neat.
So that's pretty cool. Yeah, that would be pretty cool to have. I actually think I saw that one of the artists for Minecraft, Junk Boy, I looked at some of his images, and I think that I saw one of his images on his Twitter that he actually
that's his tool. That's his.
Well, he had received one in the mail. Like he said it was tough. It was tough hauling this thing up 5 flights of stairs or something. And he shows a picture, and it's a Cintiq 24 HD.
Oh.
I was just like, yeah. I wish that was my only problem with having to haul it up 5 flights of stairs. I'd love to have that. Anyway, just I thought that was pretty cool actually. But so this looks pretty silly right now, but I'm just sort of throwing down spires and stuff that we can start with.
It makes me think of a birthday cake.
Hold on. I'd like it to be a little bit more organic looking, a little more fantastical looking, but right now I'm just getting down basic stuff, so give me some time.
Well, you can make stuff fantastic without making it look organic or
no, I don't mean asymmetrical or I mean I also don't want it to necessarily look just like a birthday cake.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Part of that will probably be in, maybe getting rid of the just basic rectangular shape at the bottom down here.
Probably.
Which we'll get to. I think I'll get to. You can. So after I get a couple more shapes done, we can go from there. We can talk about where we're going.
So I'm wondering how big this building would have to be if we made it into an adventure map.
I don't know, but I think it'd be kind of cool to go pretty big. That's what I'm thinking anyway. As you can see right now, I'm using a really large brush, pretty big brush, because I'm just looking at, like I said, just laying down shapes and thoughts.
Okay, those ramparts, parapets, whatever
they are,
make it really look like a birthday cake.
maybe I'm thinking about cake right now or something. Shush. All right.
I'm 7 years old.
So, all right. Well, maybe I need something like, I don't know. Oh, it looks like a birthday cake with a door on it.
Or a mouth. Put some eyes on it. So you could try.
I'm gonna actually fill in some of this stuff so it's not so funny. Like, let's just go like this. I can start shaving away some of this shape afterwards.
Oh, I had a zombie on my registration key.
Oh.
He died in the sunlight.
That's what you'd put there for a specific point from which you will be
So that I can
doing before and afters.
Yeah, so that I can always be looking at the same point.
Yeah, sure.
That way you always have a clear perspective of what you're looking at instead of, if it's 20 blocks higher or lower, then you get confused on what's actually been done. You can't really see the difference because, the size of the blocks are different, the angle is different, so
yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't make as much sense. Of course, it's still a problem because, when I'm doing this, there's a pretty good chance that it will snow, and the snow actually makes it really hard to tell what the height is.
Right.
Because our eyes would notice the color change rather than the change of the shape. So we see, instead of the terrain shape changing, we see the color changing from green to white or brown to white. And when everything just turns white, we can't really tell how the shape of the terrain changed, which is unfortunate. So I'm thinking of ways actually of how I can get rid of the snow. I've been testing it out with torches and water and stuff like that. But
yeah, I did notice that in that video that you had put up. I noticed you were trying to use water to sort of get rid of snow, but it looked like it would have been a pretty tedious process even so.
Yeah, I'm thinking I can just lay out torches because when I start building, I'll want to be building continuously. I don't really want to have things interrupting me at night. So
sure. Probably want it to be
so
quite a few stories, but then maybe a grand door. So let's see.
It looks kind of neat, but the problem is I can't tell what's going on. It just looks like a big black spider.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna come through with this sort of highlighter to start defining edges.
Oh, okay.
You'll be able to get it in a second. Give me a minute. So I'm thinking about levels. How many sort of stories do we want this thing to be? Before I sort of create the door, like where things will be. So
well,
this is our basic edge on like a corner. Then we can sort of say how big to scale is a Minecraftian. That big or like that big or like
the Steve model is like it's like 1.6 meters high.
Mm-hmm.
Or one block is 1 meter.
Right. So the Steve model is then just under 2 blocks then.
Mm-hmm.
And so in terms of how much space we'd like to have above our heads on each floor,
it would vary, of course.
Yeah, it would vary. Like we'd probably want to have a main sort of entrance, like main sort of halls and stuff, be fairly high ceilinged. I would think anyway. So like, I don't know if we could call that a block, or we could call like that a block. I don't know. Really depends on how big we want it. It could be quite large. I think that is the point, for it to be quite large. The external structure, of course, can be smaller than the entire adventure because we'll have a lot of sort of dungeon below. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, let's go for something like that to start. So the smaller block version. So if this is a block, that's pretty small actually. Or it makes it pretty big, I should say. But I think that's okay. I think big is what we want.
Well, let's see. There are 16 colors of wool.
Okay.
And then you can also make blocks like lapis blocks and gold blocks, iron blocks, diamond blocks,
mm-hmm.
emerald blocks. So, we can make the number of floors based on the number of objectives or something like that.
Okay. Well, remember,
I
we'll
mean,
also be
it
going
would.
down then.
Yeah. Of course. I mean,
So this is
it's
just for the external, or for the actual like structure out of the ground. So
it is supposed to be like a dungeon, so
yeah, so we can do a lot with that, I think. So
it looks really dark. Well, I already mentioned that, but
I know. I think
uh,
this is about the top before we go in. So as you can see, it's still sort of a block right now. So 1,
yeah,
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Well, actually, I should be probably counting these. 4, 8, 12. Okay, so that looks like about 20. That might be a little bit small actually for a sort of a grand sort of thing. So maybe we'll use that as maybe like
20 blocks high. You mean?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's pretty small.
that is pretty small.
What is our maximum height again? It's
128. Or
120.
sorry, that was the old height. It's 256. Well, 0 to 255, because 0 is the bottom layer.
Gotcha. And what is this standard starting sort of layer? So we can have it. Obviously, we want to have to be able to go down to
60.
so 60. So we're looking at just under 200 blocks to work with then from sort of base ground level.
Yeah, so 60 is considered sea level, pretty much.
So we want this to be pretty big, not 20 blocks, but like I don't know. I think I'd want something pretty large. Maybe 80 to 100. I don't know. Quite a large endeavor.
That's fine though. I mean,
that's the point.
And we can use
which means that each of these could be 5 blocks worth.
So are you going to build this in creative or survival? Is the question. I mean, obviously, if we're going to add monster spawners and stuff, we'll have to use MC Edit, but we can do that afterward.
Yeah, I think it could be fun to do at least this, like maybe
the main structure.
What I mean, so what do you mean? I mean, I know like what do you think would be better? I mean, obviously it would be faster in to do it in edit, but
well, I was thinking we could do like well, so we can make it a project in survival, right?
Yeah.
To build the main body of the thing, but then we actually fill it up with traps and spawners and stuff. It would have to be in creative or in MC Edit.
Okay, sure, that sounds good. Let's start with that. Let's see how we feel about it as we go. I think that'll be fun. It'll be quite a task, but I think that'll be fun.
Going to be mostly stone based on that because
yeah, I think that's pretty fair to assume.
Well, I mean, come on, what else are we gonna build it out of?
Yeah.
If we're gonna do it in survival.
Right.
The only other thing that might be feasible would be something like sandstone.
Right. So it looks like we're looking at about 8 floors on the top, with the bottom one being particularly large, like almost twice the height of the others, and then a roof. So I think that's a good place to start. Now we can start building actual like defining some shape to this thing, some edge to this thing, instead of just having blackness.
So what's the scale? How many floors did you decide on?
I'm shooting right now for 100, but we can always make modifications. That's just the basic idea right now.
100 floors?
Or not 100 floors, 8 floors, 100 blocks. Sorry, does that make sense?
8 floors, 100 blocks. So on average, 10 blocks per floor?
Yeah.
So like 10-meter high walls on each floor?
Yeah, sort of like something like that. Except the bottom floor. Yeah, right.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. What are you thinking? Do you think that's a little bit?
We could go smaller than that. We could do something like 5 or 6 meter high.
Okay.
Of course, we can also have certain rooms, certain parts of the building bigger. We don't have to make it like consistently the same throughout the entire building. That would actually
Right.
be pretty boring, I think.
I think so too. Yeah, I definitely think so.
So we have like 8 floors tall at 5 or 6 blocks per level, so about 50 blocks tall altogether.
Okay. Yeah.
For the main part of it, and then the roof will have certain
Turrets and towers
spiked
and
stuff that
spires.
go above that.
Yeah. I think so.
So yeah, if we start at around 60, 63, which is where sea level begins, then and go up 50 blocks, then we still have 100 or so blocks to build above that if we need to.
Right. Precisely.
So it looks like you're going sort of towards the standard castle look with that.
Yeah, with these sort of like
arrow tower type things.
Yeah, right up in the front. Yeah, for the moment. It might change, but for the moment, that's what I'm seeing. I had no real concept coming in except that, like I said, maybe a castle-like thing.
Jeez.
Hmm?
A wolf just jumped up onto a block next to me.
Oh.
Scared me.
And these sort of like tower things can also have some fun stuff in them too. It doesn't have to be just completely floors.
Yeah, of course. It feels like I'm getting closer and closer to being done with this soil, but at the same time, it seems like I'm not making any progress.
Just because there's just so much?
Well, so the thing is, I'm seeing more and more stone, but I'm also seeing a lot more dirt because as it flattens out, you have to shave off more dirt at a time to reveal the next layer of stone.
Sure.
But because at the same time that I'm taking out layers of dirt, I'm also seeing more stone. It looks like I'm making progress, while at the same time it feels like I'm taking more time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's looking pretty cool now.
Yeah.
So what is it exactly that you are thinking of, like spider legs or something like that?
Well, those are, yeah, I mean, those are sort of like buttresses on like a large cathedral or something like that.
Oh, okay, I see.
Architectural offsets for distribution of weight and also just design. But I mean, that's the idea. Of course, we can use that for something too. We don't just have to like we want it to look cool, but also we can use it for something within the
right.
It can have purpose as well. Besides just looking cool. Obviously, Minecraft you don't really have to worry about, except for things that have like sand that will fall. You don't have to really worry much about
building realistically.
Building realistic within realistic engineering concepts and things like that.
Well, even though you don't have to worry about it, it makes it look better, I think, generally.
Yeah, absolutely. So, yeah. So looking less like a birthday cake.
yeah, a bit.
That was what I was going for, not being a birthday cake. I don't know. I don't like really the traditional sort of kiddie birthday cake is not something I particularly enjoy. I do enjoy good cake though.
I can make a good cake.
Yeah. What's your favorite cake?
I don't know. The problem is I've never really had a cake that I can say I really have liked more than any other particular cake.
Gotcha.
Well, that's not completely true. I once made a strawberry cake that I thought was pretty amazing.
Hmm.
But not only was that something that I made, not something that somebody else made, it also was, because it was something I made, I'm probably biased towards it.
Sure. Gradually starting to fill in some rough details, but I also want to sort of finish. Sort of trying to. I'm trying to finish the overall look, but I also want to make sure that it's clear where the various depths are as I go.
Right.
So I'm sort of putting in different levels, light levels and stuff. Details.
Actually, it kind of reminds me of like an Ultralisk attacking a building.
Oh, I see it. Okay, that's pretty funny. Oh gosh, that's pretty funny. Yeah, it's not. I was thinking like this here could be an area where people could mark or could walk along
Oh, okay.
from an upper level into around and outside the towers, and they could look down.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Yeah. And then this is just additional support or whatever. I think this is coming along now. It looks a little bit less weird. It's still kind of weird actually looking, but these towers here.
So we're going sort of with a dark cathedral
Yeah.
style,
Mm-hmm.
like Gothic cathedral.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm starting to veer towards.
I might have misheard, but I think in the upcoming 1.4 patch,
Yep.
they'll be adding stained glass.
Ooh. That could be neat.
Not certain about that, but I heard rumors about it.
That's a pretty cool addition, especially considering this project, as far as it looks right now, anyway. I don't know, I might multiply the number of these sort of like side spires.
I don't see a problem with that.
No.
So what are we going to call this place?
I don't know. It does need a nice name, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Well, the wonderful thing is that you can really call it whatever we want.
Yeah.
Birthday cake castle.
You just use some non-English language and call it birthday cake castle. Or what's even better is like choose a language, some Germanic-based language other than English that, combines nouns to make other nouns. So birthday cake doesn't sound as funny.
Yeah. It'd be funny if anyone native in that language read it and they We're sort of like, is it a lie? I don't see any cake. Nowheres.
Oh, what was that? Was that a new feature of CS5?
What?
That wheel thing that you just brought up?
Yeah, well, it's actually,
Oh, that's the color picker.
this is actually CS6. This is the color picker, but it just shows up like this now. You can hold Alt and color pick, and it gives you this comparative wheel. It's sort of nice, huh?
Was it in CS5 as well? Or-
I don't know. I actually skipped CS5. I was using CS4, and then I jumped to CS6.
Okay.
So I don't know.
I just got an idea for that front thing.
This thing?
I was looking at it, and from certain angles, it kind of looks like a skull.
Oh, yeah.
Though that's really cliche, of course.
Yeah, it is. But, yeah. I don't know if I want to work on trying to create a skull also out of stone blocks.
Well, if it's a big enough scale, it would look good.
Yeah, probably. Something has to happen in the back, I think.
Well, that also depends on where we're building it. If we like build it into a cliff, then
That's
that wouldn't
true.
matter.
Yeah, that's a good point. Let's see. Some fun stuff. If we want to say like this is a cliff or something, you can have parts of the architecture sort of stretch down the cliff a bit.
Or like stick out from the edge, from
Yeah.
the back.
Precisely.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I like that. So, like, the underground parts would actually protrude out into the...
Yeah, almost like part of the rock might have fallen away, or it was just like they got to a point where they were digging and they forgot that there was a like that would end.
Or if it's like an escarpment and they intentionally build it out over the water for some cool purpose.
Yeah, maybe some sort of purpose. Yeah, that's kind of a neat idea. Yeah, definitely. All right. Okay, so let's see then.
Sky